Jameis, okay, thank you for joining us. And
Yes.
I'm going to bring up some things that we have said on this show about you, and we just want to know if you felt the same way in the moment or if we were accurate in saying it. We'll get to your Cleveland Browns time now because I think you are a massive benefit to that locker room, to Deshaun Watson, to everything. But let's go back in time. When you were playing at Tampa, okay, and you lead the NFL in touchdowns and then also interceptions, and then you go back to Florida State, you win a national championship, and you win a Heisman. It came out shortly after. Were you blind during those times? Is that because the way we talk about it is you were blind. You were just a blind man, and then you get LASIK whenever you get to New Orleans. And are you the most accomplished blind man in the history of football? And how big of a difference was it whenever you got your eyes fixed? Could you see things a little better?
Well, I wasn't blind, Pat, but I'll tell you what, LASIK is definitely a game changer. Just the fact that I was able to actually read a stop sign that was clear, read the street signs without using Apple Maps or Google Maps. It really helped me out with my depth perception. But a lot of times at Florida State, I was squinting to look at the scoreboard, and typically we were up, most of the time when I was squinting at Tampa to look at the scoreboard, I was trying to see if I could change the score a little bit. But it really impacted my game just in terms of seeing the depth of linebackers, identifying pressures sooner, and just processing information really fast.
Yeah, so you couldn't see shit. A guy couldn't see a stop sign. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, well, we're happy you got your vision. I am also somebody that got LASIK, and my life changed overnight. It was like I walked into the Colts practice facility. I had no idea what the roof looked like because all the lights, everything's just so blurry. Yep. I walked in there. I'm like, this is a beautiful facility. Hey, you guys did good on this place. Like, yeah, you've been here 3 years. It's like, yeah, that was the first time seeing it. Yeah, it's a whole game changer. Happy to hear that was happening to you as well. Let's talk about some of the off-season workouts now. So, Clyde Christensen. Oh, no.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
It's too electric.
Come on. This is devil's work.
Jameis needs to be heard.
He does.
Yeah. We need to hear Jameis.
Every day.
We got outstanding questions over the last couple of years.
So many.
They're both outstanding, and they're also outstanding.
Yes. Right.
Because we haven't been able to ask him for years and years and years. He was blind.
Yeah. For shoot.
You had to look at his phone to know what street to turn down.
Couldn't see the stop
really
sign.
How about when I was at Florida State, I was trying to see what the score was up there. Normally we're up multiple scores. When I was at Tampa Bay, I was trying to change one of them because remember he was scoring for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But how could you not?
Well,
he had no idea if that person was on his team or not. He just saw body where his playbook said body was supposed to be, and he was throwing it. Sometimes it was the other team. That's not on him. He didn't know.
No, what are you going to do?
Guy can't see a stop sign.
Depth perception, that's like the most important thing when it comes to quarterbacking.
I think being a sniper, depth perception matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think being like a basketball shooter, depth perception matters.
Dentist.
Dentist matters. Golf matters. Being a quarterback in the NFL, certainly one of the top 10.
Yeah.
I think.
Seeing the rush, being like, oh, okay, that DN's like 5 yards away, and he's literally like right here.
How about us being like, Jameis really, right down the barrel, he had somebody.
Yeah.
It was like an objects in a mirror closer than they appear type situation for him with his actual eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, Jameis Winston's back.
Yeah.
Jameis, we're just
He's quick.
We're dissecting your last answer about depth perception being figured out and which jobs require depth perception the most. Quarterback, seemingly a top 10 job that needs. Sniper in the military is certainly one. Yep. Golf is one. Dentist is a big deal.
Sure.
But quarterback, absolutely. Okay, so thank you for your insight. Let's talk about the offseason workouts now. Clyde Christensen told us he got a chance to be around you, quarterback coach. He said, Jameis is the hardest working human, and obviously he's been around Peyton. He's been around a lot of people in the past. He said your work ethic is absurd. So then in the offseason, whenever we see these workouts that you're doing, is it literally just because you've gotten bored of doing all the other workouts? You're willing to try anything? What is your workout mentality? And whenever we see another video of something you're doing, how should we view it and think about it?
Well, my main mentality is to be position specific. And every time that I'm doing a quarterback drill and I'm working, I'm doing something that I can incorporate with being out there on the field. I go by the saying, me and my trainer talk about it all the time. Pressure is for the unprepared. Yeah. And when I first got in the offseason, it was like first got in the NFL. It was new to me because NFL we didn't work out as challenging as we were like in high school and in college. So I always would try to work as hard as I can, as efficiently as I can. And sometimes I would end up being out there 3, 4, 5, 6 hours just working, just grinding, trying to be the best, man. Like, I grew up loving Kobe, Derek Jeter. Like, these are people that spend numerous hours working and redefining who they are as a player. So I just tried to give it my best.
Yeah, well, I want to let you know, we appreciate everything you've given to the internet. Because, hey, some of those, when some are laid out to you, like, hey, here's the workout we're going to do, your immediate thought is, yes, it's going to get me better, or have you questioned some of them too? Has there been some that have gone out that you've been like, I know it looks weird, I thought the same thing, but then the benefits are a big deal? Because, like, in my head, I've just thought of like 10 things that you have done with, I mean, just so many different movements. Was there any that you were kind of doubting and then you reaped the benefits from that you never could have expected?
Oh, no. Like, the biggest thing about me is my faith. So I don't doubt a lot of stuff. When I go into it, I'm all in. I'm always there. I'm present. I'm in the now. So I don't doubt a lot of things. I just go and execute, man. I go and execute. But a lot of my quarterback drills that people may seem kind of weird are improvisational drills. Like, when you're in the pocket, right, in this drill right here, I am straining, like, in the pocket. Obviously, I'm not going to be in the pocket for 30 seconds. Well, but those D linemen, my trainer was an NFL D lineman for 6 years. He played for the Chargers, the Redskins, in the Miami Dolphins. So when I'm in that pocket and I'm working things, I'm trying to, obviously I could do 3-step drops and throw on rhythm all the time, but a big part of the game is being able to improvise and throw in a condensed pocket. So that's some things that I try to train.
Can't wait to see the next offseason. You know what I mean? Can't wait to see the next offseason, what you got going on. Let's move to your time now with the Cleveland Browns. And you said you're a man of great faith, and there's a lot of people that just assume you're going to be a preacher, a pastor whenever you're done, and probably have a massive congregation because the way you're able to put words together. You seemingly always up, always good vibes, inspiring, rallying. We've seen you give pregame speeches. The W-eating one obviously made the most headwaves. This past weekend with the Cleveland Browns one, home run.
Yep.
I think an absolute home run. I think you would view that. Do you see yourself as a future preacher, pastor? And when you're speaking, do you feel it's like an obligation of Jameis Winston to, like, kind of lift the mood of everybody around you?
I just feel like I do whatever's required. Ultimately, like, my biggest congregation right now is on Sunday when we out there playing and working together as a team, and millions of people get to see my light shine. Me and my boys saying, this little light of mine, every night before we go to sleep, man. So that's my prerogative. I'm a man of increase. I'm a man that's always trying to uplift, be optimistic, and encourage others. I think that's a big part of being a quarterback. And since I've been in this backup role that I've been in a few years, I've used that as just a platform to show guys, like, hey, no matter what role you're in, you can still be uplifting. You can still lift your teammates up. You can still have that energy and come to work every day ready to go.
Speaking of that, for that reason, I think you've alluded to this a few times, and you kind of just did there. We feel like where you are right now with the Browns, in Deshaun Watson's quarterback room, with where they can get to, with how he can play and how the last couple years have been, you're like the perfect person to be the backup. Do you feel that as well? And is that one of the reasons why you wanted to join the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we talk about, what has happened or what's going to be, I want to make sure that we recalibrate what is going on right now. What is going on right now is Deshaun Watson is preparing to be a Super Bowl winning starting quarterback. And what we do from today is the only thing that matters. And today we have a joint practice against the Minnesota Vikings, so we're going to go out there and have the best practice of our lives. And I think that's what I bring into this room, of just letting him know, like, hey, man, all we got is today. Tomorrow is not promised. Yesterday is forgotten. So let's make sure we focus on being the best version of ourselves today, because we can look up at our stats and some of the things that we lack. But if we're not focused on how we can be the best version of ourselves today, then we're wasting time.
How's Deshaun Watson taking your messaging?
Man, it's so funny. Like, every time our coach asks a question for us, like, does anyone have anything to say? When we break down, he's like, 5? Like, he know I got something to say, because it's something I'm always going to keep instilling into him. Like, hey, man, we got to get better. We got to keep going. We got to keep being the best version of ourselves. And when he's the best version of himself, man, he's one of the best to ever do it.
I love that pressure is seemingly just getting taken completely off of his shoulder. Do you feel like that is the case? Like, you're there to make his life, I don't want to say easier, but also better in this whole thing?
Man, I'm here to do whatever's required. Man, he knows that to whom much is given, much is required, and he is obviously the franchise quarterback of this team, and he's looking forward to having a big year.
Hell yeah, we can't wait for that. Let's talk about a new person in town alongside you. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Jameis, obviously we've seen all the clips of you and Mike Vrabel racing up and down the field, and I would wonder, and I have to ask, who's winning the overall record between races, but how has it been working with Coach Vrabel, and what does he bring to the table? And do you guys, bounce, pregame speeches off each other? Maybe, hey, what do you think the team needs today, or what is it like working with Vrabel?
It's been a privilege working with him, obviously, because of the Super Bowl caliber coach and player that he is, but just the wisdom that he possesses from being in one of the greatest dynasties that the NFL has ever seen, and coming off of being an NFL head coach, man, he's just hungry. He knows he's going to be an NFL head coach again, probably pretty soon. However, he's taking this thing by storm. Our races are sure competitiveness. We just going out there doing routes versus air. We're sprinting to the other side. We're setting the tone. It's one of the first things that we do before we get into our team periods, and we just set the tone. We let everybody know that, hey, we're here to show up and show out. And I just love the leader that he is. I love the little details that he's able to give to our team from a head coach's perspective and as a player's perspective.
On your mic'd up that was released, I think, by the Browns, you're standing next to him at one point during the game. So obviously you guys have a great relationship. And if we know anything about anybody, if they were able to be around you, I think they would choose to do so. I would like to be around Jameis Winston just because of the energy. But as soon as somebody catches the ball, he's like, get upfield. He's like coaching on the sideline.
Absolutely.
And he has I don't want to say he has no pressure, but seemingly no pressure at all to be doing it. It feels like what Cleveland has is special. Now, Vrabel obviously knew you're new there, but their culture had to be pretty strong to welcome in two new people and for you guys to feel as comfortable as you are. Do you agree with that? Do you feel good about the culture that Stefanski and them have put together over there the last few years? And how about this year going into the season?
The leadership. Man, the leadership here is phenomenal. And it starts top down with our owner, Jimmy and Dee Haslam, and it starts with our GM, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. They are just doing an amazing job providing a supporting cast that is built for us to win. Everything here, this is the first place that I've been that has a player development department. I am so blessed that we have people that are actually looking into how are we going to develop these players, how are we going to be the best version of ourselves every single day. And it's just so exciting just to see the people here. Obviously, you've been in Indianapolis, so you know the importance of having a fan culture that's so important. But when you walk in a building and people are happy to be at work because they get a chance to put on Browns gear, just the love for this football team in this city is amazing. And I experienced that, some in New Orleans, just all the support and all the love for football that they have. And this place is very similar, but to a point where we're up north, all we have is football. All we have is the Browns. Obviously people say, oh, we got the Buckeyes too. But in terms of the NFL, all we have is the Cleveland Browns up here on this lake, and we're looking forward to making some hay. And it starts with the people that are in leadership roles, showing that they will do whatever it takes for this team to be successful.
I love to hear that. Not a lot of people have ever said that about the Browns in the history of the Browns.
Nope.
So I bet you the Browns people and Browns fans are very thankful for it. Have you been working? Hey, before we let you go, we know you got a walkthrough. Have you been working on your bark at all for that dog pound? I assume you're going to have a good bark by the end of the year for that dog pound out there.
Well, I'm going to be barking. I ain't no puppy now. I'm a big dog over here. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to have a big dog bark. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Good luck this year. Thank you for taking time.
All right, thank you, Pat. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Hey, we hope it happens again, bro. Because all we have is right now.
No doubt.
We're going to enjoy this. Yep.
All we got is today.
That's why they call it the present. It's a gift, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, so are you, Jameis Winston.
Hey, Jameis!